Hello, we have another unboxing video. It's been a little while, but the holidays have passed. I have a little more disposable income again, so I can start buying more shoes and slides that I don't need. So this one I came across on the Adidas website. I had no prior knowledge of its existence, but I stumbled upon it and it was on sale. I think the retail is $55 and they had it on sale for like $21 or something. And then I quick cross-referenced it on YouTube to try to get sizing information, and there really wasn't any videos on it, so I thought, fantastic, that's a prime slide for me to purchase at a discounted price and make an informative educational video on. So this is the Adidas, I'm just gonna call it the Splash, spelled with a Z. They seem to have some sort of interest in the letter Z lately. I've noticed they had the sponge, the Adidas Z sponge, not too long ago come out, which looks like an interesting shoe, but it's not getting very good reviews, so we won't get into that. So along the same Z fetish, this is the Splash with a Z. I went with just the 12 and the kind of like beige colorway. That was the color that they had on sale for 20. I think there was a blue one I could have gotten for 30, but I probably won't honestly wear this, and depending on how feminine it is, then I might send it back, because this seemed to be more of a women's slide, but they had men's sizing also. But just when I was trying to research it, it seemed to be more of a women's slide, especially due to the narrow width of it. It seemed like it was more designed for a female's foot, but I didn't let that stop me. Figured if they have men's sizing too, then men can wear it also. Seems like a lot of companies are starting to do that. More both gender, or I don't want to get into that mess of identity, but anybody can wear these, we'll put it that way. And oh, that was another part too, was most of the reviews on it were all from a female perspective, so that led me to believe that was more of a female slide. So with all that said, let's take a look at the Splash. So it does have more of a feminine look to it, especially with this beige color. Looks like it has a decent arch to it. It is a little narrow, but that's not new for Adidas slides and sandals. They tend to be a little more narrow, except for the Adilette, that's nice and chunky. So the one that I had come across, they were making this top part look like an inflatable. It had like an actual like air thing sticking out of it to where you could blow into it. I don't think it was functional, but they were trying to give it that look. So it does have a very unique form to it with these little like air tubes up top here. So people are saying they were comfortable. They look okay. It reminds me of the Bounce by having the two different components to the footbed. It has like the your insole aspect or area, and then it has the outsole, so to speak. This really doesn't have a whole lot of traction on the bottom. It's, I think, more geared for like a shower / pool usage. Kind of an aquatic footwear, you could say. I don't know what else I have at a glance to say about it. It does have a very feminine look to it. So we'll see how the sizing and the comfort goes on it. We'll throw them on foot and walk around the room and pretend I know what I'm talking about. All right, before we throw them on foot, I wanted to compare them to some of the other Adidas slides, just to show that the form of them is very relative to the other ones, even though it looks more of like a feminine type of slide design. When you compare it to some of the others Adidas slides, it's following a similar form. So we'll take a look at that real quick. All right, so next to the Adidas Splash Slides, we've got the Bounce 2.0, and you can see they are very similar in their form and design. It has more of a narrow footbed to it. And then you've got the Lumia slides right next to them, which is also very similar in its form. And then on the other side, we've got the Comfort slides, which I haven't really done a video on yet or shown much of. I've had these for a little while. I don't really wear them much. They're kind of a, I took these with me when I went on that river hike and had them in my backpack and was putting them on it when I was taking images of the all-terrain croc. So these are nice in their slim and light form. If you need to throw something lightweight in a backpack or something, the Comfort slides are pretty decent. But they're even though they're called the Comfort slides, they're kind of lacking in terms of arch support and ergonomics and stuff. It's a very flat slide. So, and then you've got the more the larger, chunky Adilette 22 on the end. So of these four, they all share a very similar form to them. And then the Adilette gets into the more of a chunky design. But I just wanted to compare those real quick to some of the other Adidas slides I have, just to show a similarity between them all. So we'll throw them on foot now and see how they fit as far as the sizing and the comfort goes and whatnot. All right, we'll see how they feel with socks on first. Now this has a fixed top to it, a fixed strap. Unlike the Bounce 2.0, which has the Velcro strap. This is a fixed strap like most of the Adidas slides I have. So I went with a 12, and the sizing seems to be true to size. They do feel a little narrow on foot, but the ergonomics of the footbed isn't too bad. So that strap does seem to be a little loose as far as the size of my foot goes. The inflated aspect of it seems to be what is kind of keeping pressure on my foot. This seems very crude though, the strap. See how it's cut, it doesn't look very even. It's not horrible, but I just notice it. Just the cut of it is a little off. So it's very lightweight. It seems to be, so like that strap is a little far forward on the slide. Let's compare it to the Bounce. You can see how it's like a half-inch forward in terms of the front of it. The back seems relative, but I noticed that it doesn't have much toe space, I guess, past the strap. It just doesn't seem like it comes back as far. So like if you notice when I lift my foot up with the Bounce, the slide tends to come up with it. And then when I do this with this Splash, the slide tends to stay down a lot further and is not coming up with the foot as much. So that's a characteristic of it. As you walk, you can kind of feel that back kind of flopping around, which makes it a very casual wear. We'll use that as a describing aspect of it. It's not sporty. It seems to be very, very casual, which isn't a bad thing. It's just something worth noting. So they're not too bad. I mean, if you can get them for discount, or if this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for something a little more casual, kind of a more of like a shower or like a poolside slide, You know, I can see people purchasing this just based on the look of it. It has kind of a, like a pampery, it makes me think of a spa. This is kind of like a spa sandal, you could say. Just seems to have that in mind with its design. Just having this like pillowy aspect to it. I mean, visually, they look very comfortable. They're not bad, honestly. It is a little firmer of a footbed. It kind of leans more towards the firm side of the spectrum in terms of the footbed. It does have some ergonomics to the footbed, but it seems to be, I don't know, it's not like centered here. Let me take it over to the light. It seems to be more towards like the right side as far as the arch support goes. So you can see it kind of like where the sizing tag is. Just to the right of that is where that arch support kind of lifts up. So it does provide a little comfort, a little ergonomics. It's not a completely flat footbed to it. So it's the arch support is halfway decent. It does have some squish to it, but it seems like it's still firmer. I think the bounce is probably a little softer. Well, the bounce has more of a heel support to it, where the splash is a little flatter from toe to heel, except for that little rise for the arch support, that little rise for the ergonomics. So I can see it contouring to a more narrow foot. So if your foot is a little wide, this probably isn't the best option for you. It does have more of a like a feminine feel to it in terms of just the length versus the width to it, because I think women typically tend to have a narrower foot. So I could see this being kind of designed more for a feminine foot. So something to keep in mind. They're not bad, but I don't think they're exactly what I would be looking for in terms of a slide. Just me personally. So these will probably go back to Adidas, but at least I got to do a video on it and see what the splash was all about. So it's not too bad. It does have a little texture to the sole. It kind of feels like a almost like a fabric texture. I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera. It's kind of, you can hear that little vinyl texture. It's like a softer, less abrasive, like Adilette texture, but it's more fine. You can see it right there. So that will help it slide off or help it not slide off your foot as you're walking. It's kind of similar to the Lumia texture, just in its fineness, those lines. But this is more of like a checkered, like a weave pattern, you could say. So they're not too bad. They're not too bad. But like I said, it's not exactly what I would be looking for in terms of a slide. So we'll probably send these back to Adidas, but at least we got to make a video on them. I might start doing that more. Just pick something up, even if I don't think it's for me. Just pick it up so I can do a video on it and then send it back. As long as you don't wear them outside, there's usually no issues with returns. So that's the Adidas Splash. If anything else comes to mind while I'm editing this footage, I will make another clip. But if not, then we will wrap this video up so it's not too long. So these are decent. They are made in Vietnam. It's all, the strap is all one-piece construction. And then you can see, like I was saying, compared to the Bounce, it's got the double, I don't know what to call that, the double structure with the footbed inside of like a shell, like the Bounce. Though the bounce has more of an arch, or more of a heel to it, where this is a little flatter. You can just tell. It doesn't lift up out of that shell. It kind of sinks down into that shell. So, and then we'll take another look at the bottom of it. It really doesn't have much tread. I don't know how slick that would be on a wet surface. I imagine the rubber would probably kind of stick a little bit to like a wet floor. But there's just some dimpling in there. Aside from that, it's a pretty flat bottom to it. So, not too bad. Not too bad if this is what you're looking for. It's more of a spa shoe, like I said, or spa sandal, spa slide. I think that would be the best descriptor that I could come up with. So if you're a spa goer, this, I think, might be for you. I personally am not a spa goer, but hey, to each is their own. That's the beauty of the slide world, is there's something for everybody. So, all right, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your experiences with the Zplaash Slide. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.